to another episode of Regional Italian Cuisine. My name is Caterina Borsato, and tonight, of course, I'm going to be joined by Michele
Hello.
And Dino, who's been
Hello.
the assistant in the kitchen. And on today's program, we're going to be travelling to a wonderful area in southern Italy called La Basilicata, fairly unknown, and it's at the bottom of Italy, basically. Well, not as far as Calabria, but it is bounded by Calabria, Apulia, and Campania, which is where Naples is. It has a very short coastline, one side to the southwest and one to the southeast, and it's a fairly mountainous area with only about 8% of plain. Consequently, that is what the cuisine tells us, because it's so reminiscent of the landscape. But we have two very iconic people here in Melbourne joining us, Piero Paolo Gesualdi. Did I say that correctly?
You did very well.
Thank you. Buonasera, ciao, and all that to you. And of course, his beautiful
Buonasera.
sister Lucia.
Ciao Caterina.
Ciao. Now, these people here come from this wonderful area. And Lucia, what about yourself? Now, I know that fashion and food is your passion.
Yes, basically I did, because I like good, wholesome food.
Yes.
So that's what we'd like to portray here.
Yes.
And hence the orecchiette with the ricotta salata, which I think is just reminisces me so much of my childhood, or our childhood actually.
Yes.
And the artichokes in season, stuffed with the eggs and the parmesan cheese or pecorino cheese.
Yes.
So, yes, I do. I'm very much a lover of food, as you can see.
Oh, do you know, it's a very interesting thing, because the people from La Basilicata, or Lucani, which is the old Latin word, actually believe that they invented pasta. And when I was researching all this, there was in the earliest writings of Horace, he mentions pasta. And they think, because of course we in the north have another story to say about that, of course.
You have the polenta,
Everyone's got a story.
Everyone's got a story. Well, I think it's an opportune time now to go into the kitchen, and let's just see what Michele is going to do with these artichokes.
Okay, and now for the cooking. I've got Dean here giving me a hand tonight, and we're going to do some artichokes. We're going to have little ones to pickle and the big one to cook. And we start with the little ones. Okay, now these are the little artichokes. Okay, they're actually nice now. They're on season. What do? You just have to peel everything off, and don't feel bad that you're wasting a lot of stuff, but the good stuff is inside, okay? So you just have to make sure you got only the tender bits out. Then you can either leave the stem a little bit bigger, or you can cut it off. Now there's different ways. Some people like to do it and put it in water, because artichokes will change color no matter what you do. My thing is, I believe that if you do it on the spot straight away and blanching them straight away, I'll show you how, is the best way of doing it. So you don't have them changing color, because within minutes, artichokes, no matter what you put in the water, they will change color. So that's how big they have to be. So this one are the best one for pickling. Now we're going to pickle artichokes. What we need is water. Usually I do half water, half part of water, half of vinegar, a nice white wine vinegar, some bay leaf, some peppercorn to give a bit of flavor, and some people like to put onions or anything, but the main ingredients are peppercorn, bay leaf, and vinegar. And of course you have to put salt. This is the vinegar. Now I'm going to have, I've already got some water boiling. I'm going to add the vinegar, some bay leaf. Usually they're cheap, so you can put a few of these. Just a little bit of peppercorn. So just be generous with salt, because we're only blanching them. Basically, once the liquid is boiling, you grab the artichokes, put it in. You're better off not doing the whole lot in advance, because they will go black. No matter what you do, no matter how much lemon you put in the water, they will change color. So just do a few of them and poach them for, I don't know, a few minutes. If you're not sure, what do? Once you take them out of the water, you cut one in half, the first one. So let's say you give a few minutes, you cut it in half. If you see that it's not cooked, that means the next one you'll have to cook it for a little bit longer. Strain them and make sure we get rid of all the water, because what happens is, if some of the water stays in here, they're going to go moldy in the jars. That's the only thing that you have to watch for. And make sure they're really cold before you actually put it into the jar. So as you can see, now they're already cooked. once they are to this stage, they will not change color. Okay? You can cook it a little bit more. You can like it, if some people like to have a little bit hard or more cooked, it's really up to you. I prefer them to have a nice and still a little bit crunchy, so you can actually enjoy them. Otherwise, they tend to go a little bit too soft. Once this is cold, it's very important that what you have to do, you have to sterilize your jar. Usually, I'm sure that at home you're usually doing some pickle stuff or some, some salsa pomodoro. Usually usually they used to do it at home all the time. Now, to sterilize, you make sure you put your jars and of course clean and your lids in water. You boil them for at least half an hour empty, and then you actually let them cool down in the liquid covered. Okay? In this case, you're going to have your jar sterilized. Okay? Don't take them out of the liquid, just leave it like that to cool down. When it's cold, it's time to do it. And of course now it's nice and cold. You have to make sure that you strain it so there's no water underneath, inside, because of course water will make it go moldy again. Okay, now we have to make sure that the jar is dry, should dry on its own. And as Dino tells me all the time, make sure you can put it in the actual oven really low to dry up. Okay, don't go and dry with some dirty cloth, because then we actually sterilize them for nothing. Okay, so yeah, Dino, if you want to start, you put it in. This usually, the stem are important because it's the most, it's where the flavor is, believe it or not. And so you can leave them on if you want to show off, and so you can tell your friends, I said, I did it myself, or you can cut them off. It's up to you. But whatever you do, don't throw this away, because that is the flavor that the artichokes has got. Okay, so the flavor it's in the stem. We press them in nice and hard, because we have to make sure that there's no hair. And another thing, if you want to make it look good, okay, what do? You cut them in half, okay, and then you're going to put it on the jar like this, okay, so you can actually pretend to be a professional, okay, so you can actually look good. Or you can just fill them up, keep filling them up. Never fill them up too much. And what do you do at this stage? We just need to fill them up with some oil. Dino, you want to fill them up with some oil? You can actually, if you want, you can actually put a bay leaf in there to make it look even better. You can put some crumb in there, some peppercorn. You can put some garlic if you want, okay? And you just fill them up. Okay, just 1 second. I want to show something now. What you have to do, the secret here is you can see the bubbles, they're coming up, so they're filling up the space of the jar. Now, don't think that by putting this oil, you're going to have your jar full of oil. What you have to do, you have to fill them up and then wait another hour. You'll see that all the oil will get absorbed, or it's going to go inside the jar and fill up all the space. So after an hour, what do? You go back in there and you just fill it up a little bit more. Okay? Once it's full, you see, you can still see bubbles. That means that the actual oil getting absorbed inside. I'm sure you can see the bubbles. That's very important, okay? Never fill it up now, never close it now and put it away, because it will go off no matter what you do. Leave it like that for an hour. Of course, if it's a hot day, don't go outside and don't switch on your heater, but just, keep it in a cool place. Once there's no more bubbles, that means it's all absorbed. You close it really tight. The secret now is that you have to pull it in the cool place, with not too much light, because light would affect the olive oil, makes it oxidize, and it will change color and flavor. Some people what they like to do, they like to put some paper around as well. And some other pickled vegetable, what they do, they actually go in and put it again in water and cook it for another 3 hours. So you make sure that they last forever. But like this, usually should last for 1 year, okay? Again, cover it up, make sure there's no light, and you'd have no problem. If you can afford it, if your budget is pretty good the week, you're one of the horses, you can use olive oil. If you got the wrong tip, you just use vegetable oil.